This episode of Industrial Talk is brought to you by RDI Technologies. RDI Technologies is the pioneer in motion amplification. Their proprietary technology enables users to see and measure motion impossible to the human eye and turning complex data into easy-to-understand videos to solve maintenance challenges quickly and safely. For more information, go to rditechnologies.com. Also, AI Dash. AI Dash is on a mission to create a greener, cleaner, safer planet from space. AI Dash helps core industries become more resilient, efficient, and sustainable through the power of satellites and AI. Go out to ai-dash.com. Find out more.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, a platform that is dedicated to industry professionals all around the world. We celebrate you here because you are bold, brave, you dare greatly, you collaborate, you're solving problems, you're making my life better, and you're making the world a better place. Why not celebrate you? I am. I'm sitting next to Shon. I'm celebrating him real soon. And we are broadcasting from the 30th Annual SMRP Conference here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And if you're a maintenance professional, you need to be here. If you are a reliability and you're passionate about reliability and asset management, you need to be here. That's SMRP. Absolutely make that happen. All right, in the hot seat, we have Shon. Eruditio is the company. Let's get cracking with the conversation. There you go. You know what I'm running out of room? I'm running out of note room. I'm looking at my notebook and I need notes.
You need notes, huh?
Yeah, I can't write anymore. It's just all like Blair. Look at Blair. I got Blair right there.
Yeah, there's Blair.
That's right. I don't know what to do.
Blair guy's a pretty good guy to talk to, though.
He's quite chirpy.
He is,
man. He's fun.
If we look close, we may be able to see him from here.
Oh, I already is. I yell at him even from this distance, but it looks like he's got a group around.
He does.
He's got a group around him.
They must have something to talk about.
Ultrasoundish, big time.
Yeah.
All right, it's about time. This, listeners, this is probably a 27-year in the making conversation. I've been running Shon down for 27. I'm not exaggerating. 27.
Not even
years.
A little bit.
Not one bit. Maybe it's 28.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we were able to, because you know why I was able to get a hold of him, because his booth is right to my left, and I stare at him and stare at Eruditio. So it's pretty much a shame conversation.
But I'm here.
But you're, I'm all excited. All right, for the listeners out there, Shon, give us a little background on who you are, and then we're going to jump into Eruditio and all of the reliability stuff we're doing.
Sounds good. Well, my name is Shon Isenhour, and I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I get the pleasure of living near the beach every day when they'll let me stay in Charleston. As you and I've talked about, I've been on the road quite a bit this year with our clients, so it's been really busy. But I am the owner of Eruditio, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm the owner of Eruditio, and so we.
So you live on that.
Yeah, well, not exactly. No, I think your house is a little nicer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. How long has Eruditio been in business?
We've been in business almost 8 years.
Wow. What does Eruditio mean?
It means to teach and learn at the same time. There are a few other definitions. It's very much about the educational side. So, for us, we're an education-first consultancy, and so Eruditio rings pretty true.
See, I'm always about education and that collaboration, talking, finding people with solutions, working together to come up with and solving problems, and of course, innovation. Hey, is that your fan?
I don't know, but he's cool.
He's a fan. All right.
He's going to sit and watch.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah, you know me.
Sorry, we're on a podcast, but we're going to have a conversation.
James Holloway, 2 L's, 2 O's, put them in where
That's right, man. Check it out. Okay, so that's cool because it really is, and especially in the world of reliability and maintenance, I just don't see how you can not be successful at it if you're not keeping current with the velocity of things that are changing out there.
Yes, definitely a lot of things changing. I mean, a lot of things do say that we'll start over. A lot of things stay the same. That's right. You said it.
You sort of flew a little close to the sun on that one.
That's right. That was a little close. So, it's interesting. I mean, we've got a lot of new technologies coming to the field. We're seeing technologies used in new ways, which is always fun. But, at the end of the day, a lot of the basics, the blocking and tackling has stayed the same for years.
But don't you think that they're still having the same conversations?
In some ways there are. We were actually joking over in the Eruditio booth yesterday that we think we could take some of the presentations from SMRP 20 years ago and deliver them today and blow people's socks off with them.
I guarantee you that's the case. You're absolutely spot on. It's I think today, this time, I think some of the conversations, there's that innovation component. Yeah, got it. Oh, we're all into it, yeah. And it changes rapidly, and everybody's sort of hanging around the water cooler, and they're saying, yeah, what if we do this? Here's a new use case, blah, 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 blah. But I think the technology and that passion for technology is ahead of the human side.
Very much so.
It's like, it's way over here, and you're on version 47, and I'm just trying to figure out one.
Yeah, I think that's very true. We see a lot of times the technology truly does get out ahead of people change. And, let's be honest, as engineers, we love new technology. We love new gadgets. I mean, check out these mics we're using, right?
Yeah, they're kind of high end. This one's handmade right there, baby.
Yeah, that's pretty fancy.
It is. It's all steampunk. It's right in there. There's a reason.
And you like it.
I do. It looks great.
And that's exactly the same with all these folks out here, right? They love that technology, but at the end of the day, if we can't get people to adopt that technology or use that technology within their business processes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you have the cure for cancer and nobody knows about it and nobody uses it, well,
doesn't
people
do
are
much.
still dying from cancer, and that's a dead shame. Yeah. So, with that said, Eruditio, if you're truly about, or you're looking at the education, how do you approach projects, clients? What is that value proposition?
Well, for us, we really try to make sure that we're first coming to them with a solution that they can sustain, right? And for us, that's part of why it's education first. Because if we educate them on what it is and why we're doing it, then they understand it. Instead of just coming in and doing it for them and handing that to them, because then there's no ownership.
Yeah, no,
it's just kind of going to fade away over time. It's entropy, right?
Yeah.
Entropy kicks in and it starts to go back to the way it was before.
If I was an engineer, I would know what entropy means.
You would.
But
That's right.
I just know that it's an entropy.
I just remember some class in college. We're just down the road from NC State.
There it is.
I graduated from there, so pull it out from there.
But the reality is that I like that approach. I don't think you can. And granted, I don't want to simplify maintenance. I don't want to simplify asset management, reliability. It's a complex ecosystem. Things change all the time. I got it. But if you're not an organization that's committed to education, if you're not an organization that is committed to upskilling, if you want to retain people, I get the risk, but you need to upskill because things change.
They do.
Are you a part of that?
Well, and they degrade, right? And depending on what the topic is, a lot of people talk about the half-life of education, right? If you're not using it once a year, then can you really truly still execute whatever that is, whatever that task may be moving forward?
You're spot on. And so how do you do that? How do you go into an organization if you're saying, okay, education is it, I want you to get ownership, and take us through that process of that, because the reality is, just so they're all on the same page, this is a human conversation. Technology is a technology. Yes, we gravitate towards it because it's just sort of cool, but it's a human conversation.
It absolutely is at the end of the day. So, one of the models that we use, and it varies depending on what the outcome is, the client's looking for and where they're headed. But, one of the things we think is really important, and we use our IBL process. It's a blended learning process that trains individuals.
Hold on. You did an acronym there.
IBL, Inspired Blended Learning.
Oh.
All right, and it's a process that we use internally to develop folks basically into internal consultants in certain fields. We've got it available for maintenance managers and reliability engineers, but we also have it for planners and schedulers and MRO storeroom. And so what we believe is if we can get folks into that process, and it's project based, it's got a coach that they work with for an extended period of time. They're actually doing the things that they've learned and submitting them to the coach. That allows those folks to really become the experts inside the facility. Then we can start talking about the implementation, but now it's supported within the organization. So if you look at many of the implementations we do, we'll have focus teams, and there'll be an IBL leader that leads that focus team. And as you go through that, that person knows the big picture, knows how it all fits together, but the focus team focuses on the details around work control or the storeroom or planning or scheduling. They're focusing on those, but at the end of the day, the IBL's job is to make sure that we pull it all together, that it never becomes a silo, that we don't just have the storeroom over here and a reliability engineering over here and planning and scheduling over here. So it gives us a very cohesive implementation with internal consultants, internal leaders that understand what the big picture looks like.
Is there a specific industry that you focus, or is this sort of agnostic? Of course, you're going to have to use the acronyms and the terminologies specific to the industry. Is this something that is just industry and it's agnostic?
It's really pretty agnostic. I mean, originally we would have said, it's a manufacturing thing, right? But now we find ourselves doing it in a lot of facilities, and the process works just the same. We use what we call our IBL light bulb model, and it's just an implementation strategy. And we first started out in automotive, and then we took it to food, and then we've taken it to pharmaceuticals and discrete manufacturing, and now facilities. And so it's a model that is repeatable. We know what to expect. We know when folks will get to certain points, and we can proactively help them manage some of the risk associated with it. But it really doesn't care where you apply it, because it's agnostic.
So what's the impetus? If a company comes, what pain are they dealing with? Like, it's like, I get it. I'm all in. I'm sort of the beginning part. Take us through that. What am I?
So what you'll see, I mean, really there's two things. It'll either be that they need to increase their throughput. So they're in a sold-out environment. They need to make more product. Everything they want to focus on is making sure they can deliver what their customers need. That could be one side of the spectrum. The other side could be an industry where they need to cut their cost. So they need to lower their maintenance cost. And so they're going to do everything they can to make sure that we can do maintenance efficiently and effectively, reducing the total ownership cost for those assets. Now, you can also have to do both. There are some that are in industries where they need to make more, but they need to make it at less. And so you see different mixes, and actually, those different perspectives of what they're looking for dictate a little bit about the implementation strategy.
I've got to ask the question, because, I mean, you've started Eruditio 8 years ago, all of that good stuff. What were you doing prior to? Were you always sort of passionate about that education? What is that?
Yeah, so I started years ago. I came out of industry. I worked for ExxonMobil, worked for a company called Sunoco, and then transitioned over probably 15, 20 years ago in the consulting world. And once doing that, I actually got involved here at SMRP. And I can't say enough about the SMRP organization and what they provided to me. But one of the things that they did for me is they allowed me to be the director of education. And it just really ignited my passion for helping people learn these things so that they can sustain them long term.
I think you're onto something. And it's always, there's no way, by the way, everybody's packing up except me and Eruditio, because you're here. I feel like a bomb went off, and I'm like, oh man, I'm missing out. I don't know what the deal is, but we'll join them soon.
Yeah, we'll start folding things down.
Yeah, just right now during the conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, can you grab that over there?
Yeah, a few things. Have it all packed up.
I'm always passionate about education, and that's just education in whatever form it is, because I think that that's a asset that can never be,
taken away.
Yeah. And I think that where you're at is a damn good thing.
Well, I would say, at the end of the day, the only thief is time, right? If you don't use what you learn, you'll start to see it go away. But other than that, it's yours to carry on. And, I've kind of become a bit of just a learner. I've started picking up musical instruments and fly tying,
yes,
and fly fishing, and there are things that I do. I'm not good at any of them. I'll be honest. Don't come to my house for music, right? But it's that process. It's going
Gibson
through
amp.
that understanding.
You need to get the Gibson amp.
Is that what it is? That's all I need?
Gibson amp, right there.
That'll fix it.
Well, it won't fix it. It will just. You can play, and it's like rock, whatever. Anyway, you're playing with your guitar. And it's listening to you, and it's. Oh, you got to check it out.
Oh, I may have to check that out.
I'm telling you.
Yep, because we like shiny objects.
No, I'm telling you, and it's inexpensive, but it's cool.
If it's a silver bullet, it makes me look like a rock star. I'm in.
It's a silver bullet.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think in the world of maintenance and reliability, I think that it's at its core, at its base, SMRP. It's always about education. People come to this particular event, people come to this conference. It's to learn more because the industry changes.
Yeah, well, you definitely got to give them a shout out for this year's show. It's been amazing.
How about that?
You come here. There's over 1,000 people here. People in my sessions. It was unbelievable how interactive they were. They were asking questions. They were having discussions with their peers. It was just it was a very energizing couple days.
And if you're in that business, if you're in the reliability, asset management, maintenance, whatever, it's so collegial. Everybody's here that they want to. Now they want to kick us out. It's because of you, Shon.
It's not the first time I've been kicked out.
As long as I possibly can after our 28-year run around. It's so collegial because people know. Yeah, I was struggling over here. I have some here. Try this. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Well, I saw people in the sessions, they would hear somebody talk about how they had solved a problem. And then after the session, they'd get together and talk about it. And, they could be completely from different industries. In fact, one that I'm thinking of right now, I think one guy was pharmaceuticals and the other guy was automotive. You can't get much different, right? But they had the same issues and they walked out together. They probably went to lunch and talked about it, and I think that's the environment we want to create is where people can really learn from people that they don't consider their peers, but they really are.
I love it. I hate to call it quits here. I'm enjoying this conversation because I find that you're a brother from another mother. Because I'm all into that.
This
stuff.
has been a lot of fun. You got
I'm
quite
kind
the
of a big
setup
deal
here.
there,
Yeah,
Shon.
you are kind of a big deal.
Okay,
It's not everybody that has a hand-assembled mic.
Yeah, that's a shout out to what do they call it? What's the name of it? It's on ear trumpet.
Ear trumpet.
Ear trumpet out of Portland, Oregon.
Very nice.
Ear trumpet. Yeah, I'll tell you the story after this one. All right.
Sounds good.
How do they get a hold of you, Shon?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn at Shon Isenhour. You can also reach me right on my cell phone, 843-810-4446, or at Eruditio.com.
There are salespeople, and then there are salespeople. He's the latter. Shon, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, listeners, we're going to, as you can tell by the clinking in the background, apparently we're wrapping it up here at the 30th Annual SMRP Conference. I'm telling you, put this on your calendar. I believe it's in October of next year. It is in Orlando. It is a must-attend event. Great people like Shon, and maybe we can probably corner him in for another conversation shortly. All right, we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to have all his contact information out on Industrial Talk, so stay tuned. Do not go away.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Great conversation with Shon. Absolutely wonderful. Great venue, by the way. Go to SMRP. And it's in Orlando this year. Put that on your calendar. If you're in the asset management, if you're in reliability, if you're just trying to manage costs, which you should be, you need to be all engaged with SMRP. Great community of professionals, SMRP. All right, so I go out to Shon's stat card. This is just wrapping it up. So I go out to his stat card. And it's all great. You know the stat card. This is what he does. This is what he does. The best part about that is that, yeah, we do education training and all of that, focus on project-based. But the best part about it, and I got to get out there, and I didn't even ask about that, is that we are located aboard the USS Yorktown. How about that? That should be on the top priority. You got to reach out to Shon and Team Eruditio, just because that's pretty doggone cool. That's off the charts stuff. All right, you have to be about it. You have to be about educating, collaborating, and of course, innovating, because you need to succeed. You need to reach out to people like Shon and Team Eruditio so that you can succeed. It's important stuff. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Shon, Team Eruditio, and you're going to just change the world. Thank you very much for joining and your support of Industrial Talk. We're going to have another great conversation coming from SMRP shortly, so stay tuned.